hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Choir of Elements. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please take a moment to check out these opening messages, including all the places you can find us and interact with us and our community and support us, should you wish to. Also, check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press, and brand new sponsors, The Deck of Many, who create the animated spell cards, if you've seen those. If not, you've heard of spell cards, right? Well, these spell cards cast as you cast. So check them out. Oh, I just hurt my toe really badly. Also, check out the tweet, retweet the tweet at the end of the tweet, because the tweet's really good. Ow. Ow. I really hurt myself. Hello. Hi, everyone. Ow. Let's go around and say hello, starting with Danielle. Oh, hi.
Hi, it seems like we need some cure wounds for you over there.
I'm good.
You're good. Hi everyone, I'm Danielle at RyRacontor on Twitter, and also now on Twitch because I changed my username for convenience. Yes, I will be your lovely dungeon master this evening as we check back in with our players after a week off last week. And so let's go around and see who's playing who, and we will start with CJ.
Hi, I am CJ. I am playing Oxy, the fighter that's in some very fine long clothing and ready to rock the rock. Ha! That's what I was thinking to go first. I can do that shit.
Puns. I think I've just given it up at this point with just puns on the way down. Next up is Holly.
Oh, hi. I'm Holly. You can find me Sagephilia here on Tuesdays and also on the Twitter when I remember that I have a Twitter. I'm going to be playing Decadence of the Crystalline Cove today, and just to further get into character, I did floss right before I came on.
Very, very prim and proper of you.
Of course.
And next up, we have Ren.
I did not floss before we got on. I'm Ren. I play Detective Cassandra Mortmain. I am not quite as focused on cleanliness as my darling compatriot, Decadence, but I do what I can. And I'm Atomic Firebird on the Twitter. I don't forget that I have a Twitter. I am on it way too much. Talk to me.
And last but certainly not least, Scrat, who are you playing today?
Oh, hi, I'm playing Birdback L'Orealien. Birdback's a wonderful little person, nowhere near as folks. In fact, the polar opposite of Cadence, probably, when it comes to cleanliness. Would rather make mess than actually clean it up. And today, very much looking forward to making a mockery of this flying rockery. I'm going to, show it exactly what my dirty laundry looks like. I'm going to put the sock to the rock. Because, who gives a fuck?
Wait, now we're going to rhyme, too. This is new levels of insanity.
Instead of puns, we're going to go rhyming instead. That's today's.
Yeah, new rule. To cast a spell, you must create a rhyme. It has been 2 weeks, so quick reminder of what happened last time. The party was reunited. Cassandra rejoined everyone. And Burback and Oxy went and committed another con of sorts, selling books in the marketplace.
It was a happy con. Everyone benefited from the con.
Schrodinger's
It was a happy con.
Got rid of books. People were okay, and someone got money for loaning us their studio shop space. It's great.
Purchased a nice gift for Cassandra. You all, Cassandra did some reading of Faden's journal, so you learned a little bit more, including that he has this drawing of this woman named Elaine, who is an important figure from Cadence's past. You all went down to the docks where Shen secured passage for you on a ship that was headed to Akka in the elemental plane of air. And you got to spend some time just goofing off on the ship. There may have been a box with the word cat written on it that sucked up an hour of time as we tried to figure out what the heck was going on with said box. Eventually, you all, the ship reached what's known as the conflagration, which is the border between the planes of fire and air. It's a great flame, as you might imagine from the name. And getting through it requires a pretty skilled ship, and as well as knowledge of where the passages within this wall of flame are. Fortunately, your captain and her crew seemed to be pretty skilled, but they did advise you to go down below decks, since it can be kind of unnerving watching these tendrils of fire coming out from the walls. And for the most part, the passage through was pretty uneventful until the very end, when Burback, who had remained on deck, you saw this first, that waiting at the end of the tunnel through the conflagration was a giant bird, the largest bird you have ever laid eyes on. And on the back of said bird was a figure, at this distance a little bit too hard to tell exactly who or what that figure might be. And then you could see two what looked like disturbances in the air on either side of the bird. It was definitely threatening. And so Burback, you cast an illusion to try to fake a basilisk on the prow of the ship. Basilisks have petrification with their eyes. The bird did not seem to like that very much, and it is moving toward the ship, but it is averting its eyes right now.
Oh my God, yeah, that was like a major image as well. Yeah, that was,
It was a major image, exactly.
Burning them big spell slots, yeah.
Yeah, big spell slots. So we ended right there last time. For the sake of ease, I will say everyone who wants to be on deck can be on deck. I think some of you all came up onto the deck at the end of the last session anyway. So we will go ahead and roll initiative.
Before we begin, something that I meant to say to you guys before we started, but hey, it's cool. I think chat should probably hear this as well. Anyway, something actually that Jay brought to my attention. I've been telling everyone. This, I think last week, or sometime recently, they officially made this symbol a hate symbol for white privilege. So we will no longer be using that as our OK symbol. We will now be using closed fingers instead. That's really for the cast, but hey, chat. Fun fact, right? Or not so fun, shame. But hey, here we go. Let's carry on. Thank you.
Good announcement. All right. So, roll initiative. And while they are doing that, I will let everyone in chat know they do have actions for their airship, which they have been provided. So this is a much bigger combat than just them fighting the bird. All right. So let me go look at those initiative rolls. Wow.
Well, fine.
That's quite
Fight us! Fight us!
Don't fight me, I'm not swift.
Okay. Pull up my initiative order here. Okay. So, Burback, you are first. As you might have guessed, you rolled a 22.
Well, I've already major imaged. Is that a concentration spell? I think it is, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to maintain concentration on the major image spell.
Okay.
Maybe I'll make it growl or something, you know. Put a little bit of an emphasis in it. I don't know what sound a snake makes. Large snake. Yeah. I imagine it sort of sounds like swirling ball bearings in a tin, you know, sort of like a rattling hiss. You know. Big.
All right. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn? At all? I mean, I would at this point, the bird is within 100 feet, so you're within range for stuff.
Bonus action. Hide.
Okay.
I'm
You
like
can
up
do
in up in the crow's nest, right? So I'll just be like, maintain concentration, and we're away.
Yeah, you were actually on the balloon. There's not really a proper crow's nest, but yeah, you were on top of the balloon. So you can definitely angle this balloon to try to hide. So go ahead and give me a stealth roll. Oh yeah. Yeah, easy, no problem. Yeah, you angle yourself so that the balloon is between you and the bird. You're fairly confident that you are now hidden. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That's everything. That must be my music. Everything, I think. Thank you.
Okay. You know you can cast a spell on top of...
I'm just maintaining concentration.
Okay, perfect. Then we will move to Oxy.
Excellent. For that then, I will ready the crossbow for the rock otherwise.
Okay.
So we're not gonna get close to it. And, well, hopefully we don't get that close to it.
So you're waiting until it gets within range of your crossbow?
Yes, because I
Perfect.
don't think I can... It's either that or the long... Well... Will you permit me to try using the longbow?
Sure. If you would like, you may absolutely try using the longbow.
Okay, I will ready an action to use a longbow once it's in range.
Okay.
Just maintain a watch on it.
All right. So, if that is it for you, then it is the bird's turn, as well as the rest of the enemies. So the bird is going to swoop in very, very close to the ship. So Oxy, if you want to go ahead and roll that attack.
Yes, I will. Mod 20.
Ooh, good.
Relief.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're trying to hit the bird, right?
I am definitely trying to hit the bird.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me the damage on that.
Okay. It's incorrect. I don't remember what longbow damage is even right now. Usually just a short bow. I don't usually need distance. I don't need distance usually.
It should be a D8.
No, that's not what I wanted to roll. Stop it. I wanted to roll the damage. Fine.
You're rolling really well.
I know, that's great, but there we go. Damage, not so much. Damage, really not so much.
All right, so you hit this bird as it swoops by. The bird does not really seem to notice, unfortunately.
Oh.
And the bird is going to rake its talons along the side of the ship, or try to. Okay, well, it tries. Oh, no, wait. No, it does actually hit the ship. I lied.
Oh,
I
wow.
forgot. The bonuses
Oh
that
boy.
the bird has.
And it speaks in code!
That is terrifying.
I don't even know what
That is
that was.
terrifying.
So the bird...
I don't know, but it felt... Well, I thought it looked pretty sharp. I could see sharp.
It sings so lovely.
Maybe it's writing in Python. Maybe that's why the basilisk isn't working.
So the bird comes in. It's still got its head kind of averted from the ship, but the whole ship shudders as it just rakes its claws along the side of the ship. On its back. Nice. All right. So on its back, you can see a blue-skinned man. And he points a finger at the deck of the ship. And where he is pointing his hand, a whirlwind springs up on the ship itself. And you see it's about 5 feet wide, and 30 feet tall. So this is definitely of a height with like the balloon, for instance, or at least part of the balloon. And you can see the crew kind of being battered. You can see one person get tossed over the side by this whirlwind as it sits on the deck of the ship. The two patches of air that look kind of off, they're a little bit shimmery, almost like a mirage. They are also moving toward the ship, but they are not able to get here just yet.
Ha!
Ha! And that will be them. So, Cassandra, it is your turn next.
Where I am, is it possible for me to get within 60 feet of the rock?
Yes. Yeah, if you run over to the side of the deck, you can absolutely get within 60 feet.
Okay, so Cassandra will grab her skirts with her left hand, has her parasol, rush over to the side of the ship,
Whack.
and then looks up at this thing, points in anger, and casts Fairy Fire.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So everything that's within the 20 feet of him.
Yes, you can
has to
touch
make
him
a
and the rider.
Dex 15 save. It's not that high.
Okay. They both fail.
Okay, then they are outlined in a pulsating blue light, and that's what Cassandra's gonna do.
Cool.
Well, they look fairly obvious now.
They look gorgeous.
Oh, but wait, we can use the bonus action to yell out at the crew.
You can, so you
Yes.
can use your bonus action if you'd like to command the crew to do something.
Okay, I am gonna yell at the crew to get their arrows ready.
All right. So the crew will
Ooh.
release a volley of arrows at
And
the.
they all have advantage when they do.
They do. Good point. And you must. Do you want them to target the rider or the rock?
I feel like the rock is a bigger, easier target.
So yeah. Oh, that's right. They get everyone on that side. I forgot. So you just confirm that that's a hit on both. It is. So they will hit for 1d10 plus 4, or wrong thing, 1d10 damage per target. So do you want to roll a d10 for me, Cassandra, since you
Oh, right.
commanded the attack?
A whole 2. I probably shouldn't do the rolling. I'm bad at it.
All right. So they let off a round of arrows. And then we are up to Cadence.
All right. Well, I'm going to. How far away is Burback from the rest of us?
Burback is up on the balloon. So Burback is, we'll say a good 30 or 40 feet.
All right. Can I say 30 feet?
You can say 30 feet if you have something in mind for that.
All right. I'm going to cast Aid on all of my compatriots, not myself. So up to 3 creatures. That's going to be you 3. Your hit points maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the next 8 hours.
Very nice.
And then I will roar very threateningly at this rock. At Mr. Dwayne.
Dwayne the Rock.
Ah.
That's definitely its name now.
And that's my turn.
All right, and then in that case, we are back to Burback. So the rock is now limned in a unearthly green light, thanks to Cassandra. It's got a couple of arrows sticking out of its chest, but it doesn't seem overly wounded.
Right. Oh, damn it, that requires concentration. I can't do that one. Oh. Well, I'm maintaining my concentration on the major image anyway. And as I do that, I'm going to sort of stand up quickly and say, "Hey, on a bird of paradise, you're ugly," and then duck back down again as I cast vicious mockery. Oh, I added sneak attack, but I don't think I should have done.
All right, it gets a wisdom saving throw. Let's see. That's a failure. So 6 psychic damage. All right. The rock.
I mean, unless I maybe caught it off guard, then maybe we can add sneak attack. I don't know.
The rock, perhaps in response, lets out a caw noise as it, continues on its path along the side of the ship. Anything else for you, Burbeck?
No. What I'll do, I think, is I might get off the balloon, because I've just had this horrible image of like the bird just sort of like going through the balloon, and me being all there in the middle of all of this trouble. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like I'm going to use my bonus action to activate my boots, and I'm gonna fly under the ship and hide there.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a place you can be. I will say it's quite toasty underneath the ship. Remember, you are still in a tunnel.
Oh yeah. So we're not like floating, are we? We're not in the airplane yet, are we?
Not technically. You're still in the border.
I'll be like near the underside, I'll be on the like hull, but not. Yeah. Holly gets an advantage thanks to the Maharishi's donation. He posed a question: Who wrote the song with the bird and the word in it? He wanted artist and track name, and I eat that sort of question for breakfast.
Because there was the Woolly Bullies or something. I know there was an old band named that. But anywho.
No, the Trashman Surfing Bird, definitely.
No, yeah.
Surfing.
It's gonna be your turn next.
Yes, which we will fire off theirs again. I'm going to try and aim for the person on top of the rock.
All right. You have advantage thanks to Cassandra's spell.
Indeed. Thank you, Cassandra. And so that is going to be 3 attacks for using the, because I have that extra attack I always forget about. So there they are.
Advantage or?
They weren't worth a roll with advantage. So
just roll 3 more and we'll pair them because you got 2 hits there. Okay, so you'll have 3 hits then.
So then for a total of 19 damage.
19 damage? Is that what it came out to be?
Yeah, I'm taking the ones with the big, large ones, so
yes,
damage I rolled with those.
Right. All right.
Just my advantage for the time being, and there we go. Fairy fire.
Very nice. So yeah, you fire 3 arrows off. They all fly true. They all hit this rider, probably in the back, given the positioning. So he's Boromiring it right now, with 3 arrows sticking out of his back. But despite that, does not. From this distance, it's hard to tell for sure, but like you don't see him like fall off the rock or anything like that. So, does not seem to be too terribly affected.
Need sneezing powder.
Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Is there a way to secure myself using rope to the deck of the ship so that if they do come by and try and rock the ship, then Oxy will not fall off.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. If you want to use your movement, you can use your movement to gather up some rope and tie yourself to the deck.
Yeah, Oxy will tie himself to the deck and make sure they are secured.
Excellent. Okay. Then it is the enemy's turn. So the rock is going to continue its pass along the side of the ship. It is... So it will rake the ship one more time.
How dare. Just how dare.
The rakish audacity.
Right?
Yep. Definitely. And Cassandra, you being on the side of the ship, you have a pretty good view looking down to see the hole that is now in the side of the ship itself. It's sizable. The ship doesn't seem to be in any danger yet of falling apart or anything like that, but definitely a substantial amount of damage that this bird has inflicted. The whirlwind on deck starts to move toward. Let's see who's on deck that it can move toward. Cadence. And so, Cadence, I will need you to make a strength saving throw.
Cadence strong.
That's about what I'd expect, yes.
Yes, Cadence is very strong. Yeah, that does not seem to phase you whatsoever. It's just a little bit of wind, right? No big deal at all.
It's a nice clean wind,
And then I can find, there it is. All right, the two patches of like mirage-y air reach the deck of the ship and start to attack the crew. So you see like one of them just sort of suck up one of the crew members and just launch him off the ship. There are two of them on the deck, and unlike the whirlwind that the rider of the rock kind of made appear and that's currently in Cadence's area, these two patches of air have what looks like eyes almost and mouths. And so that will be it for them. They are on the edge of the deck. And we will go to Cassandra.
Okay, so since I saw that the ship was damaged, I am going to call out to the crew to repair the part that I can see a giant hole in.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d10.
I got a 10!
Awesome. All right, yes. So a couple of the crewmen rush downstairs and they start, you can see that they are like boarding up part of that gash along the side of the ship with some spare wood that they keep below decks for precisely this purpose. So yes, they have started to repair the ship a little bit. What else would you like to do?
Okay, so that was my bonus action. For my action, I am going to look down at the rider of the rock and try to ping him with my light crossbow +1, with my advantage for my fairy fire, which I have maintained concentration on, and poof, I got a dirty 20.
The dirty 20 will do it.
That was not right. No, I accidentally had Hunter's Mark on. Hold on, sorry. I had ticked on the wrong
No problem.
thingy. It is 1d8 plus 4. Oh, come on. As 1 plus, so 5 damage. Oh boy.
You will take that 5 damage.
Then I will try to shoot the rider one more time.
All right, let's do it.
21.
That'll do too.
That time is 12 damage.
That's better.
That's what I got. Bonus
Perfect.
action. Not
All
bonus.
right.
Action.
You hit him twice, and on the second hit, you notice the whirlwind on the deck disappears. So that is Cassandra's turn. So now we're up to Kate's.
Cadence. Well, are these sort of not air shimmery nonsense blobs? Are those within melee range?
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. I would like to try to pick your favorites with sword of sharpness. Twice. Don't worry
Okay.
about the text block. It's not relevant. So there's a 14 or 24.
The 14 actually does not hit, but the 24 does.
Bastards. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and twice. No, I won't smite it. I won't be smitten. But I do get an extra 1d8 of holy if I can type this in the right place. So 14 slashing damage.
Very nice. All right. Anything else for you on your turn?
Nope.
Nope. All right, Burback, back to you.
Right, well, look, I don't think that this whole basilisk thing is really working out, so do you know what? I'm going to drop concentration on that spell. I've had enough of it. It's just taking up time, you know. I'm dropping concentration on that spell, because I'm going to cast a new spell. You said that the rock had been hidden by a bunch of arrows, had you?
I did.
Great, and they'll have metal arrowheads, will they?
They do.
I'll heat some of them up, I think. That sounds great. It's a DC 17 Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh wait, hang on a minute. Do you need to make a saving throw?
Okay. It does pass.
Okay, so if the if a creature is holding or wearing the object and takes the damage from it, the creature must succeed a Constitution saving throw or drop the object if it can. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of your turn. That's the text. Do what you will. There's a
Holding or wearing the object and takes it. Well, okay, so it passed the saving throw though. Does it take the damage?
I think.
Unclear.
Isn't it? It takes the initial damage, but if
Yeah.
it fails, it takes a dot.
If the creature takes the damage, it must make a Constitution saving throw or drop the object. So I guess it tries to shake the arrows out and passes the throw. So like succeeds. But it has choice. It's not compelled in any way because it passed its Constitution saving throw.
Right, so it does damage either way. It just doesn't have to drop its
Okay,
whatever.
so yeah, so it doesn't have to drop the object. Yeah, that's what the Constitution saving throw is for, but you're correct. It does take the damage regardless. So the fire damage is 14.
Yeah, and no sneak attack there again. I need to untick that until I actually have it. Oh no, wait, hang on a minute. Fairy. No. Not a ranged attack. It's not even slightly a ranged attack.
Okay, cool. Anything else for you, Burback?
Yes, I'm going to look over at Oxy. Oxy,
Yes.
you know that you're my favorite. And I think you're going to do great.
Yes.
I just really believe in you.
Aw.
I hope I can inspire some actions in you. Fight for me, Oxy.
Absolutely, Burback. You got it.
Action Cassandra rolls
Your turn,
her eyes
Oxy.
and says, "That one would be your favorite."
Yeah. All right, let's fire some up.
All
And then I'm
right.
gonna spend, I think, my action surge after this one too to really lay into this person.
All right. Let's do it.
So there's the first 3 rolls.
Those are all hits.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
gonna go with
19 damage again, it looks like.
yeah.
You're hitting the rider, right?
Oxy is aiming for the rider,
Perfect.
and then with the action surge can take one additional action on top of the regular action. So
Yep.
would that be one attack or another round of the attack?
That should be another round.
There's
And
the
those are all
attacks again.
hits as well.
So it's a 19 and a 14, so we have 33.
Yeah. All right. This guy is starting to look like a pincushion with all of those arrows that you have put in him. But despite that, he is still sitting on the rock's back. And it is their turn. So the rock, the rock swoops away a little bit, and then comes back in to try to attack the balloon.
Did it manage to get the arrows out?
It has not. No, it didn't need to last time, but it does not have the arrows out.
Disadvantage.
You are correct. Okay, so that will cause. Actually, those are both hits, even with disadvantage. So, this balloon is going to have some problems. Okay, so the good news is the ship is still afloat. The bad news is the balloon is wildly damaged as the rock flies over, and you actually see it doesn't just kind of do a raking pass the same way it did to the ship. It actually flies in and digs its claws into the balloon, and you hear this kind of hissing noise, and it actually puts its beak down and like shreds into the balloon a little bit, and then lets go and continues to fly sort of over the ship, so you can see its underbelly right now as it's going over. Balloon is in very bad shape, and when I say that, I mean it looks like one more good hit will probably destroy the balloon. As far as what's going on deck, the elementals continue to batter the crew. One of them will try to hit you, Cadence. And I will need you to make a strength saving throw. Fortunately, you're very good at those.
And it's a +3 for my charisma, so it's a dirty 20.
Awesome. So yeah, it flies at you and actually through and around you, and you feel like for a second your feet start to sort of lift off the ground with the force of the wind, but then you are attached to that deck. You are not coming off of it. And that will be it for them for this round. So Cassandra, we're back to you.
Okay. I need to know how far away from me is the crow's nest.
So there's no true crow's nest on the
Oh,
ship.
okay.
There's the balloon, and the top of the balloon has netting on either side. So when Burback was going to the crow's nest, quote unquote, he was actually climbing up the netting on either side of the balloon.
Okay. How far away is the netting?
You could get to like 10 feet. You could get to the base of the netting, no problem.
Okay. Because the rock flew up, Cassandra is going to break concentration on fairy fire, which I hate to do, to misty step up to the netting as a bonus action, and then shoot the hopefully squishy underbelly of this rock twice.
Okay.
Stress.
Mm.
Oh. Shoot. 14. Damn it.
Do you have 2 attacks or just the one?
I do have 2 attacks. The second one is 10. Cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, those are both misses.
I shouldn't have got rid of fairy fire. I have regrets. Okay, that was it. That's it for me. I'm gonna cry.
Do you want to do anything with your bonus action?
The bonus action
The
was my
misty
misty
step.
step.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yep. I just.
Don't worry, I have no useful bonus actions.
Oh, you do. Tell the ship to repair things, or something, or do whatever.
Yeah.
Cadence, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm done.
Right, so my bonus action, I'm going to ask them to make some repairs. I can
Okay.
go ahead and roll that. Actually, I do have a question.
Sure.
If I were to cast a spell that makes all healing be maximized, would that be at all impactful here?
Why not? Yeah.
Oh,
I'll say
it does say creature. It says creature. Chip is not alive. That's fine. All right, so bonus action heal the ship. I'll go ahead and roll the 1d10.
Okay.
If this is a 1, you can throw me off the ship. There we go.
Oh, very nice.
Getting lucky. And I don't suppose there's any way to actually reach this rock, like with a
So it is right over the ship right now, and because it just like dug into the balloon and then it's moving off. So if you wanted to use your movement, you could get up onto the balloon and try to like take a running leap and get onto the rock.
God, that sounds like such a dangerous idea.
You are
would that,
still over the ship at this point, so if you fall, you just hit the deck.
would that consume
Throw
my
your rope.
would that consume my action to jump, or just all of my movement?
I'll just let it be your movement.
All right, so I'm going to attempt that. Would you like an athletics check?
So yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics check for that.
I'd like to use my advantage, please.
That seems fair. Oh, look at that.
Didn't need it.
What a boss.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, so Cadence, you like not even using your feet, like just your arms and your biceps, you pull yourself up onto the side of the balloon, ready yourself a little bit, and then push off. And you are able to grab onto, I'll give you 2 options. So you can get onto like the tail feathers of the rock, and like so sort of like its tail / butt, or you can grab onto one of its talons.
Oh man. Go with the talon.
All right, you are now clutching onto this giant bird's talon, and you still have your action.
Perfect. I want to attack it.
Stab the belly, stab the belly, stab the belly.
Okay, so it's a 25 and a 23.
Those are both hits, absolutely.
Excellent. And I actually forgot a feature. If I roll 1s or 2s, I can re-roll them on damage. So I actually have to check these when I roll them. All right. So I get to re-roll one of those because it was a 2. All right, so that 13 becomes a +3, a 16, and then plus 2d8 for the attacks. This is really annoying on this. Okay, so that one turns into a 6, and then I'm going to Divine Smite. I think I should Divine Smite. Right, I'll Divine Smite it at a... Oh, what do I have? 3rd level spell slot, which will add an additional 4d8.
Oof.
Spell is going down. I get to reroll 2 of those. So the 2 1s are replaced by 2 2s. I don't want to do that math, so I hope you're keeping up.
No, not really, but let's see here. So the 13 and the 14 slashing damage, those stay the same.
It turned into a 16 and a 14.
Yep, so that's 30.
And then
Plus your 2d8,
which ended up being a 3 and a 6.
which is a 9, so 39 damage. And then your 48, which ended up being
16 total.
16, so 39 plus 16 is going to be 55 points of damage. Wow. Paladins, man. And given your position and what you have access to, the bird does not seem to like that much at all.
I should think not, but that's all right. I have healing.
So the bird lets out a very loud noise as you stab it, and then just layer some smite right on top of that. The bird is looking bloodied, actually. So, let's see. Birdback.
I believe in you.
I believe in mute.
You're muted.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. But Cadence is within 5 feet of the rock.
She is. You
But
would now get a sneak attack.
I'm going to take my little booties. I'm going to fly on up there.
Okay.
I haven't used a bonus action to activate them. I activated them a little while ago, so I can use a blade flourish as well. It's wonderful. I'm going to go and hit the thing. I just need to remember what the flourishes do.
Depends on which one you do, I think. I know one of them is like affects your armor class.
And the rider's still up, is he?
The rider is still up. Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to fly close to the rock. I'm going to attack at it.
All right.
I'm going to use a slashing flourish, which means my extra blade flourish damage will hit the rider as well, because it can hit a second person within 5 feet of the person that there you go, you see. So, it's a bit nasty, really, doing a slash with a rapier, but there we go. That's the world we live in.
That is a hit on the rock. Do you have to make a second roll for the rider?
I don't think so. Exact wording is, you can expend 1 use of your bardic inspiration to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target you hit, which is the blade flourish damage, and to any other creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of you.
Yeah, no roll. So yeah, you hit the rock and you will also hit the rider. So let's see that damage.
Oh, that's not the best. It's a 5, I think, for the blade flourish. Oh, hang a minute, how many? 46. No, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 6. A 6 for the rider, and 23 total for the rock.
6 for the rider, 23 total.
Well, I suppose I should look at my party and see if anyone's looking hurt.
Just the ship, but maybe we can volley or repair next round. I can do that on my bonus.
The rider is looking pretty bad now as well. After you hit him, you see him finally start to slump a little bit on this thing's back. Oxy,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do?
So I'm going to use my bonus action this time, and I imagine the ship needs some repairs on its balloon.
It does still. The balloon's still very tattered.
Yep. I will do the bonus action this time around and ask that the balloon get some repairs.
Okay, roll me that d10.
Yay. Here's hoping.
It's been good so far. Still
8.
pretty
So
good.
that's a 12.
Yeah. So you see some of the crew, they get out just these long strips of canvas and start
Duct tape.
basically duct taping them onto the balloon.
Fantasy duct tape.
The hissing of the air coming out of it is now much less.
Is there a light side and a dark side to this duct tape too?
Always.
Good, it's like the Force still.
What else?
Okay, and on that then, with 2 people hanging off the rock, I'm going to try and not hit the bird and just still hit the rider. I imagine I don't get advantage anymore.
No, unfortunately, Fairy Fire is no longer ongoing.
Yeah, and with them around, I have to be careful with this, but alright, let's give this a shot.
So 2 of those are still hits.
Oh, good.
So that's a 16
damage.
points of damage because it's the bottom 2, which he does not like at all.
Haha! Ha
Yeah, I've lost track of how many arrows you've put in this dude, but it's somewhere on the neighborhood of like 10 or 11 at this point. Like,
Yeah, we're starting to double digits.
looking like a pincushion.
Lord Porcupine that rides the rock.
It is the rock's turn now. So it swoops away to come back and make another pass. So Burback and Cadence, you have a little bit of a terrifying moment as the rock moves out and you're very close to the wall of the tunnel and the fire. And also just, fire below you too. Like there's fire everywhere. But then the rock swoops back toward the ship.
Do I give it any sort of disadvantage for being on its foot?
I'll say if you want to use your reaction to maybe a strength check, and depending on how this goes, I'll say you can try to impose disadvantage on one of its.
Oof.
Yeah, not gonna do it, I'm afraid. The rock is extremely strong. So it does not seem to care too much about you being on its claws as it comes toward the ship. However, this time it is coming for the ship and not the balloon. Okay, and those are hits as well. All right, so this time it sort of does what it did the first time, where it goes right along the length of the ship, just ripping out wooden tiles as it goes. Birdback, you are up there with the passenger.
Oh no.
And he does not seem to care too much for the person who just smacked him with a rapier. So
I don't want to say we've got things in common, but I guess I understand.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Don't forget you get +3.
Yes, yes.
good thing you do, because a 16 by itself was not going to be a pass.
Whew.
So you will only take half damage from this, which will be 6 points of damage, thunder damage. As he points a finger at you, and there's just sort of a localized boom sound as he hits you with a spell. Sort of. You are able to withstand it. And the elementals are still on deck. One of them is going to go up to Oxy, who has been firing, and attempt to attack her. That's really bad. Oxy, your AC is 14.
Yep.
Yeah, nope, it misses.
Ha!
Really terrible rolls. So that's it for the enemies. Cassandra, you are still on this rock's claws. Not a great place to be honest, as it digs those claws into the side of the ship. You've got chips of wood and planks flying everywhere.
Wrong sea. Cassandra is on the
sorry.
I'm
You're
getting wooden planks.
I'll get to you in a minute. Cassandra, you are on the deck of the ship and not being hit with ripped planks of wood.
I am actually clutching to the netting. And I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay. On the rock or the rider?
On the rider.
Okay.
And then I would like to shoot the rider.
Go for
A
it.
lot. Okay.
A lot.
Please hit. 24!
Yeah, that's a hit. Absolutely.
I fixed my damage. Haha. Alright, that's 12.
Those 12 points of damage.
12 damage. Oh, smack him again. 16.
The 16 is not a hit.
That's fine.
Just misses.
It's fine, it's fine. Still got him once.
It goes whizzing over his shoulder.
So that was my bonus action. That was my action, and I'm gonna just stay where I am.
Okay, no problem. Then now we come to you, Cadence, being buffeted by the splinters coming off of the ship.
It's definitely not pleasant. Going to go ahead and use a breath weapon against both Rock and Ryder.
Okay.
So each of them have to make me a Constitution saving throw. And that save is going to be 15 is the DC to beat.
Okay. The rider passes. The rock does not.
All right. So Ryder's going to take half of 19 and Rock is going to take the whole, and it's going to be cold damage.
Awesome. And he takes
And I think Oxy already used our bonus action this round, correct?
Yes.
All right.
To heal, yeah. Heal the ship.
Then that will be me.
All right, Burback on the back of the rock.
I've been maintaining concentration on heat weapon the whole time, by the way.
Oh! Well, roll me those 2d8 from last round.
Certainly. Manage my character sheet a little bit better. There we go. 7.
Excellent. Okay.
And up from here. Okay. As I look down at the ship, does it look like anyone looks like they're going to be flung from the ship or anything else dangerous like that?
A couple of the crew members are in danger, so at least 2 people have already been thrown off the ship by these whirlwinds and these elementals. But none of your friends look like they're in immediate danger.
Okay, cool. I mean, they're sailors. They should know better. They I'm sure they'll figure it out. Right, then I won't. It's no bother. What I'll do is I'll carry on hitting the rock, I think. This time I'll I'm not going to flourish my blade this time. I'm just going to give it a little stab.
Okay.
Maybe flying not away from the rock, but a little bit further away from the rider.
Okay. If you move away from him, he will get a chance to hit you.
Yes, he can have a go.
Okay. That is gonna absolutely hit the rock.
23 points of damage. And I'll still be maintaining heat metal as well.
Okay. So that is 23 points of damage on the rock. The rock is looking extremely hurt at this point. It lets out another sort of half-hearted cawing noise. The rider, as you fly away, rakes you up the back with a scimitar. So that is going to deal you 15 slashing damage plus 2 thunder damage. So 17 total.
Okay.
Makes a little booming noise, actually.
Don't forget you started with 5 extra hit points. For what that's worth.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, yep, I've got that. I definitely am. I move a little faster away from him.
Probably a good move.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I'll go and fly near the rock's belly.
You can say hi to Cadence while you're down there.
How's it going, Burback? Still alive?
Cadence, this position really suits you. Anyway, it's not a bonus action or anything like that to cast the extra heat metal, is it? Let's double check that before I go ahead.
I don't believe it is. But I could be wrong. While you're checking that, let's go ahead with Oxy's turn.
All right. How is the ship looking so far as damage goes? Like the ship in the balloon?
The ship itself is battered, but not in any immediate danger of getting destroyed. So its sides are probably more whole than not whole at this point, but it is still structurally intact.
Mm-hmm.
The balloon was looking pretty bad there, but after 2 rounds of repairs, it's not perfect, but it's definitely still holding air.
Okay. Let's maybe just go around, use a dodge to get disadvantage if that rock's gonna swoop back around again. And with an elemental attacking, how many elementals are on the deck? I've now noticed them. Okay. Are they both within movable reach?
Sure.
Great. Let's set the longbow aside for now. Draw out the short swords and split attacks between the one that's got me and the other one.
All right, let's do it.
So 3 attacks on the one by me, and then how that goes, 3 attacks on the other one, tossing people around.
Okay.
Yeah, using the power of 6 arms.
Oh, look at that crit.
That advantage, that inspiration I gave you earlier, last 10 minutes.
Okay, if I need to use it for the one, I will, which I will.
It's a
the
D8.
11's not a hit, but you can make that a hit probably with that inspiration.
Yay!
Yeah, that'll turn it into a hit. So that's 3 hits, one of those being a crit. So 13, 22, 26 points of damage. Okay, and then your other 3.
That's going for the other elemental.
Those are all hits.
25. Okay. Yay!
Yeah, you go ham on these elementals.
Yeah. Keynes and Burback seem to have the Rock and Rider under control, and let's get these things off the deck so they stop messing with us and the sailors. Oh gosh, there's things on the deck. What's going on? Smack, 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 smack.
Okay, so the Rock's turn. So the ship does start to take evasive maneuvers. You see Captain Euphoria at the helm, spinning the wheel, and you feel the ship kind of banks a little bit as she tries to make it harder for the rock to hit the ship. Let's see here. Okay. Unfortunately, the rock is still able to hit the ship. So that's going to be okay. So context-wise, the ship is technically bloodied now, as the rock pretty much does what it did to the balloon, but this time, like right on the underside of the ship itself, on the hull.
Did it still with disadvantage?
It did roll with disadvantage.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just, because Cadence and Burback, you can see this because you are down there with it. It just sort of claws its way right into the bottom of the ship and digs its beak in a little bit. And when it detaches from the ship, there's a huge gash that was not there before. And on the deck, one of the elementals continues to mess around with the crew. You see another crew member go over the edge as this thing sucks it up into a whirlwind. The other crew member, the other elemental will try to attack you, Oxy. It will hit one time. So that is 17 bludgeoning damage. As you just feel this like weight of air come down on you. It doesn't have like true appendages, but it just hits you with the force of all of this air.
It's oof.
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 Oof, oof. Very much.
Do not like.
And
Do not like, do not want.
The rider on the rock actually shifts position, and he will actually, so he has 2 scimitars. He's going to throw one of them at you, Burback. So he's actually going to try to hit you. He's going to lose his scimitar one way or another. It's going off into the ether. 18, which will hit Burback.
Yes, I believe it will actually. Very nice, is that?
Another 13 slashing damage with 1 point of thunder damage just for funsies.
I'd like to use my uncanny dodge, please.
Go for it.
Does that take us down to 7 or 6?
It would be 6. It's always the low. You round down when you're having.
But it'd be 7 anyway because of the thunder damage, so there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. And that's it for them. So, Cassandra, hanging off the balloon, you can feel the ship shudder as the rock, one more time, gets its claws in.
Okay. Cassandra is going to Misty Step back down to the deck.
Okay.
Yell out as the bonus action for the ship to get its ballista ready.
Okay.
And then move over to the side of the deck close to the rock, and then reach up and try to shoot the rider again with a crossbow.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Boom. 19.
Ooh, yes, that's a hit.
16 damage.
All right.
Back him again. 21.
21 hit as well.
10 damage.
10 damage.
So it's-
Woo.
29 damage into the rider's stupid blue head.
The rider is really looking bad. And as the rock comes around from underneath the ship, they swivel the ballista into place. If you want to go ahead and roll 1d20 plus 6, and they will try to hit the rock with the ballista.
$22.
That is absolutely a hit.
Yes.
On a hit, the ballista does 3d10 piercing damage.
Woo.
And give me that 3d10.
11.
Oh.
Eh.
All right. Cadence, come around to you. So you are still on the rock. You can see that the rock is bleeding from numerous wounds. Probably another good hit or two will finish it off. Of course, it is also flying around the ship, so once that happens, you'll have to figure out how you want to get back on the ship. But you are definitely capable of defeating it, depending on what you want to do.
All right. Babak, how are you looking? Surviving? Bleeding profusely? Mr. Leloy Alien?
I'm okay actually. I've been that's not the right number there at all. I've been a lot worse. This is fine.
All right.
How about you? You alright? Are you going through all of these?
Oh, no, I'm good. Everything's good. All right. Yeah, I just give it the old stabbery now. Attack 1, a 19.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Going to use advantage on attack 2.
Well, it's a 21 or a 21, and both of those would hit, so you have
Perfect. Okay, let's see. I get to reroll 2 of those. So 1 stays the same, 1 goes up by 2, so that's going to be 10 and 12 damage, and then we're going to go ahead and do another level 3 smite along with the regular smite, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 for damage, 2 for level 1, level 2, level 3, so that's 68.
Woo!
And I get to reroll 1 of those. Stays the same, so another 31 damage. So that's going to be, what, 43 total?
How would you like to kill it?
I would say that after being hacking at its leg and sort of underbelly for a while, Decadence is just sort of seeing everything going a bit tits up and just sort of clenches with those powerful thighs and does an upward thrust into the breast of the rock and pierces whatever sort of heart can be reached with this sword.
Yes.
You hear the rock let out not even a full cawing noise, just kind of noise as you drive your sword up into its chest. And there's a moment where you just sort of hover there as its giant wings fall down and go limp. And then it starts to fall.
Right, and then my thoughts are, oh no, oh god, oh I'm going to die.
Oh no, oh no, no, no. We must stop this. We must prevent this.
So you still have your movement if you want to do anything with that. Otherwise, you are on the falling rock.
What sort of position? Is this a leapable, potentially sort of...
I will say with your amazing strength, this is potentially leapable, that you could get your hands on the edge of the ship.
Right. I'm going to try to do that. I have Burback floating nearby. What's up?
Give me an athletics check for it.
Perfect.
You're doing so well on those. Just like Yeah,
Good,
so you,
good.
you just take a running leap right off of this thing as it's falling. And so you are now hanging off the side of the ship, but you have your hands on the railing. So you are no longer falling with the rock. Burback, the rock is dead and falling. And you can see the rider is standing up on it, sort of on its falling corpse, but it's dead. What do you want to do?
Right, well, I don't need to move because all I've got to do, really, is just stop moving, really. So that's what I'll do. But what's the saddle arrangements going on this rider? Are they seat belted in? What sort of level of safety do they have?
They don't have any level of safety. There's no harness or saddle or anything like that, really. He was just riding on his back.
Kerr says. I'm gonna float down to the deck. I'm going to yell at the crew and say, "Oi! What you doing? You bunch of land-dwelling nincompoops. Get yourselves tied down. Why are none of you lashed down? You see people falling off left, right, and center." And I'll look at Cassandra and throw her a belaying pin, which I'll just expect her to know what to do with it. And I'll head over to the deck and start casting mending.
Okay. Every little bit helps, I suppose. All right. So you, so you just fly back up to the deck. The air elementals are still on the deck, so if you want to do anything regarding that, you're welcome to, Burback. Otherwise, I will pass to Oxy.
No, you can pass it on. I'm just going to, be trying to fix things, yelling at people in general.
Okay. So just to be clear, Cadence is falling?
No, Cadence is
Okay.
hanging off the side of the deck, not falling.
Okay. Not falling is a good part. Okay, but hanging off the side of the deck. Let's go give you a hand. Hands. If I can. Noxie will head over there to help Cadence up onto the actual deck of the ship.
Yeah, sure. That's no problem. You can absolutely do that. I won't even make you roll for it. That's not hard. You can just pull Cadence up and over the side. Cadence, you're now on the ship proper. Anything else, Oxy?
And if I still have the space for it, then I will go for an elemental and use the multiform technique.
All right.
At least remove one. Let's see here. Yeah, so just moves to advantage. And away we go. That's a lot of 24s.
Yeah, what are the odds that you got 3 24s and 2 22s? That's really bizarre. Anyway, that hits. So, are you applying them on the same elemental, or are you going to split up and attack both?
I will apply them all to the same elemental unless it dies in the process of it, but
Don't think so, but let me do some quick math here. So 15, 23, 29, 36, that's 44 points of damage. So with the last attack, that is enough to take out one of the elementals.
Oh, good.
So you are able to, it just into a wisp of smoke.
Nice. All right. Reform up and we got this one more time if we have to.
And Oxy and Cadence, I'd like you both to make me a perception check.
Okay. That'd be great, I'm sure.
Okay. Oxy, you're too focused on pulling Cadence over to the side of the ship to really notice this. Cadence, as you're coming over the side of the ship, you glance down, perhaps because down is scary. And you see that down below you, as the rock is falling into the bottom of the tunnel and hitting the flames and the body is going up, the rider just vanishes.
Does it look like there's like smoke sort of circling where he was, where he's like vanished as an invisible but still present, or just not even there anymore?
Grat over dropping fairy fire intensifies.
It doesn't look like invisibility. So you think either he's not there anymore at all, or he casts something else to save himself. But you don't think he's invisible.
All right.
And there's one air elemental remaining on the deck. For the sake of expediency, I will simply say that since all four of you are on deck at this point, it is pretty easy for the four of you, as well as the crew, to batter this air elemental.
I actually wanted to take my next turn to dispel magic where he was.
Oh! Yeah, if you want to try that, I don't know.
I don't know if it will work.
Hang on.
Because I'm pretty sure I'll need to make some sort of roll for it. Go ahead and put it in chat there.
Okay, it is a range of 120 feet. So, yeah, go ahead and make me the check. So you add your spellcasting ability modifier, which in your case is charisma.
Oh, probably not a 1d10.
Okay. 12 is not gonna do it.
All right.
So you give it your best shot. You can definitely tell that there's some kind of magic going on down there, but the spell just doesn't latch on, and you are unable to get that dispelled. Does anyone else have anything else they want to do before we drop out of combat order? Nope. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
oh wait. I had Hunter's Mark on the rider. Do I still feel him around? I don't know if that's I don't know, like that's really loose interpretation of Hunter's Mark, but
you can feel that the spell is still running. So wherever he is, he's not yet exceeded the spell's range.
okay.
But you can't tell like precisely where he is.
Yeah, that's still good to know.
And so that is well done. Congratulations on bringing down the rock. So you are all now coming out of this fire tunnel, no longer opposed by the very large bird. And you get your first glimpse of the elemental plane of air. And what you see before you is a vast, endless expanse of sky. Light blue clouds scuttling about at varying levels. And in the midst of all of that, you can see earth motes floating in the air. So just chunks of land that are, some of them are rotating slightly, some of them bob up and down a little bit, a few appear to be completely still. It seems to be a pretty wide variation. Some of them are quite big, and you can see little houses and settlements built on them. Some of them are just small little boulders, basically, as the ship starts navigating. The ship is still pretty badly beat up, so the crew is continuing to effect repairs just to make sure that nothing untoward happens between now and your arrival at your destination.
I can help prestidigitate some of the debris away, like some ash or some wood shavings.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of opportunity for that. You can clean up some parts of the balloon that got dusty, and
I'd also like to cast Cure Wounds on Babak. I saw he got sort of roughed up.
Well, yes, I suppose you could do a little bit of healing, yes. Also, I need to get my belaying pin back from Cassandra. That's mine, that is. Custom and everything.
So it's 10 health back to you.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
That's great.
I think that Cassandra will probably rush over to make sure that everyone is, whole.
Surprisingly undamaged, actually.
Yeah.
Is that normal? Turning to a crew person for this rider person to just sort of be there and attack you.
One of the crew, as they're reattaching things and working to, he looks up and he says, "No, ma'am, that's it's the first time that's ever happened." I mean, we've seen those giant birds before, but never been attacked by one.
So they're not normally aggressive.
Well, I mean, they have to eat, same as anyone else, but they don't normally attack ships.
And you don't know what sort of blue man would be riding on top of one?
Well, looked like a djinn to me.
Shin.
That Jin was
Why?
taking a hell of a whiskey being out here, wasn't he?
Where's the captain?
The captain's back.
Cassandra's stomping over to the captain.
I mean, Burback, the Jin really got spun up out here, didn't they?
The captain will.
Cassandra's gonna turn back, look over her shoulder, and say, "Somebody I think needs a tonic of healing," and then turn back to the captain. Trying very hard to make a joke, but Cassandra doesn't really do it very well.
Come on, let's put some effort in. She really tried.
Her face is pink. Captain, who was the blue man?
Well, I don't know.
Why did they want to attack the ship?
She says, "I've been doing this run for years, and my ship has never been attacked by a rock with a djinn on it. So I can only guess that the reason we got attacked is due to the one different factor." And she stares very pointedly at you.
Well, we've never been attacked by a bird with a blue man on it either, so I hope that you're insured. And then she'll flounce away and go back to the group and then whisper, "I think that was our fault. We should lay low."
No, surely not. We gave them a good rum for their money, but there's no way this is our fault.
I mean, canonically speaking, it could quite possibly be our fault.
That sounds ballistic to me. Not canonically.
The captain could just be full of hot air if she's blaming us.
I I think we should probably go below deck and not make any more scenes.
I guess I would.
I agree. If we get below deck, stop them from getting us over a barrel.
I want to try to help up here. Possibly ingratiate us just a bit.
The gin might have caused a few ailments.
Sandra is kind of flicking her eyes from all three of you, trying to figure out which things are jokes, because she doesn't quite get all of it. Trying to figure out if what Decadent said was some sort of pun.
I just sort of want to help, especially if they think it's our fault. I mean, there's a potential that we might need to get back to the fire plane for whatever reason.
Make sure you stay cordial.
Right, I suppose. I'll do what I can. And you're taking that down below, right? Perfect. Prestidigitation. Lay on some hands.
I should stay up and help as well, really. Fix the ship up.
Get it back in ship shape?
Sandra,
Yes.
do you know much about giant birds or air elementals?
No. Well, you mean yes. Sorry, I was trying to find a way to make a joke out of that. You're all so much quicker than I am.
We've
Well-
had to learn when like working on, the stuff and things. You're more methodical and analytical, and that's great.
I spent a lot of time working on ships. You get awfully bored. Little wooden. A lot of things pass you by.
Is it hard to keep your spirits afloat?
That
That's
was
a great one.
That was a pun on many levels. I really liked that.
Just perfect.
Oh, because it also ties in with the alcohol-related ones that you were doing earlier. It
Yeah.
was an accident. Shouldn't
You don't have
told
to
that.
tell people it's an accident. You can just flow
Yeah,
off it.
just-
Great.
Go with the flow.
I feel accomplished. Yes.
You took your shot and it worked.
I took many shots. The crossbow did fare me quite well this battle.
Good.
Cassandra will walk away feeling slightly proud of themselves and go down below deck to
Okay.
refresh their warlock slots.
To take a rest that is, short in nature.
Yes. I'll contemplate the cat box some more.
All right. What's everyone else doing?
Go ahead.
Definitely be going around and like casting mending on things and fixing things up 1 foot at a time. But like also just going up to the silly buggers on deck and being like, look, the laying pin. You stick it in the thing. You wrap around. Now you're not gonna go flying. What's wrong with you?
We're getting some health and safety guidance on this ship.
We seem to do that health and safety thing a few places.
A good gig. Don't spoil it.
Wasn't going to. How are you? Okay. Then how are you turning it around here? I'm merely curious now. What's going to happen with this? Are you going to start selling the laying pins? Because we can try and get on that.
Honestly, I just keep it up out of habit, but that's not a bad idea.
See?
We need a friend. We need a friend in dock that we can direct everyone to. Perhaps someone called, I don't know, Loxy? Or, like, proxy? We've got a proxy salesman!
We'll see. Discussion that we need to have, absolutely, but we'll see.
Right. I'll start spreading the word.
Okay, sounds good.
Oxy, so Burback is, expounding on the merits of belaying pins and helping helping do some minor mending. What are you doing?
Alas, my skills do not lie in mending or telling people that they should tie themselves down or even healing people. So they will go below deck and stay out of the way, as Cassandra did suggest they should, and not tick off the captain further.
Okay. And what about you, Cadence?
So I'd like to help as many people as are injured on the deck. I know most of them sort of went flying if they got hit, but if there's anyone who's still sort of not feeling so well, sort of some lay on hands, a bit of prestidigitation here and there, and try to, I don't know, boost our popularity a little bit. Just in
Okay.
case there's any sort of, lingering doubts that this is our fault.
Make just a general charisma check for me. Also, you can have advantage on it because you are helping out with like healing and stuff.
16.
Okay, yeah. So you spend some time on deck, talking to all the crewmates, patching up minor wounds and things like that were sustained over the course of the battle. It definitely seems like whatever ill will you may have gained by potentially being the target of that attack is offset by your help and Burback's help cleaning up, essentially. That you've done a good job of, trying to fix what may or may not have been your fault.
I would also sort of like to make my way towards Euphoria and tell her that there is a possibility that the rider survived and did some sort of magical shenanigans at the end to save his own neck. So if she plans on going back the same way, it might be something to look out for.
When you tell her that, Euphoria nods a little bit and she says, well, it's pretty hard to kill a djinn by falling. That's not really a thing that they do. So I would not be surprised. But honestly, I'm less concerned about us than I am about you.
Well, we appreciate the concern, but I have faith in my compatriots. I think that once we are safely on a moat of ground, we should be able to situate ourselves in a precariously safe position to continue our expedition, I suppose.
Well, I mean, good luck to you. I don't think that person will come after us. I think if they survived, you probably should be more concerned about yourselves.
Quite frankly, I would rather they come after us than this beautiful ship and all of these people.
Probably sounds selfish, but I agree.
Safe travels then, once we, if I don't see you again, I'm going to head back and...
Well, it'll be a few more hours yet before we make it to Akka, so...
Well, that's incredibly awkward then. I'll just go then.
And she just lets you like sit in the awkwardness of that comment as you walk away. So you, like I said, you do have a few hours remaining before you pull into Akka. So it's plenty of time for anyone who wants a short rest to get one.
I absolutely have to lean into Cassandra's room and be like, Cassandra, sorry, were you feeling tongue-tied earlier?
Excuse me.
That's a
what?
belaying pun.
Oh. That's
There'll be a leaning of a head
confusing.
out. They're just being naughty. Don't mind them.
she'll just roll back over, pillow on head.
Playing Punterest as well. I thought you were the mischievous one.
No other.
Oh. Sorry. So I guess we should probably take a rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's the thing to see? I'd like to have seen that. Anyways.
Yes, you have plenty of
I want
time to take a short rest if you want. I know Cassandra wants to get Warlock spell slots back, but if anyone else is desirous of a short rest, you can absolutely get one here. Unless there is anything else you want to cover while you are on the ship, I will jump ahead a little bit.
We've probably had enough mischief on this ship.
enough,
And inter-party shenaniganry.
enough for one voyage. What with the cat box last time? Okay.
And the dirt. Don't forget about the dirt.
No, I have not
Cat
forgotten
literature
about
at this point.
Nor have I.
So, after a couple of hours have gone by, the captain calls you back up to the deck and lets you know that the ship is approaching Akka, and you may want to come see this, essentially.
Oh, yes.
And you are now approaching the largest earth moat that you have seen. I mean, it is positively massive, and not only is this earth moat gigantic, but it is surrounded by smaller earth moats, and all of these earth moats are almost, I don't want to say rafted together, but they're attached by bridges and archways that go out over the open expanse of air. So there's 8 that are easily visible, including the large central one. And all of these earth moats are positively covered with this beautiful city. Gleaming white walls, gleaming white buildings, towers, very much the opposite of the Plane of Fire, where everything was a little bit sooty from all of the smoke and the heat and the fire. Here it is gleaming white and shining, and absolutely beautiful. And on one of these earth moats, you can actually see it looks like a palace of some kind with spires that reach way up into the air. And amidst all of this, you can see people flying, which there's actually like lanes of traffic in the air because there are so many people who are capable of flight who live in this city. So you can see Arakakra with their wings fluttering around from place to place. You can see more blue-skinned people that look like the Rider of the Rock. And you can see some just plain average vanilla looking mortals using a various accoutrements. Some of them are probably using magic, but you see a few people who look like they have boots like Burback. You see a couple people that look like they have brooms. All different manners, but yeah, so there's actual, instead of just roads down on the ground, there are actually roads in the air that move all around this. That was my dog saying hello. That move all around this city. And there is a dock on the central earth moat. And the ship comes in to said dock and Euphoria's crew ties up there amidst all of these other airships.
It looks so wonderful.
It looks so clean.
It looks like opportunity.
For what? More flying stuff?
Well, we've got flying stuff now. Oh, you probably need flying stuff, don't you? We can get you some, I'm sure.
It's not like I can grow wings, unfortunately.
Have you really tried, though?
No.
Can you just think your way into getting wings? Like, is that really a thing you can do in general?
I pointed my shoes. I did.
But that was your shoes.
And it was more talking your way into getting them than thinking your way into getting them.
You can't talk without thinking. Or do
Well,
I
that
talk
is
without
not-
thinking?
Oh, I beg to differ.
Hmm.
So, do we have a general idea from the books of where we're supposed to be headed once we're here? Everyone's been reading their books, right?
Research books, yes. The pathing book, though, that's, I think, we passed it to you, Cassandra, right?
Sure, Cassandra has an answer for this. Ren needs to go 2 pages back in their notes. Wow.
I read all about the laws in the Bronze City.
But we're not gonna be in the Bronze City anymore.
But it was useful, wasn't it?
It not gonna lie, it certainly was. Helped us out plenty.
Did you read about any social laws as well? Like, I don't know, about the dragon.
I don't know, really. I only read the bits that were relevant at the time. I used it more as a reference book, really, than like a reading book.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go with Cassandra looks a little just visibly uncomfortable and starts fidgeting through the books. I don't remember if I read anything particularly useful. She's kind of like looking over the edge of this dock.
Okay. So let's start with maybe checking the market area or something and seeing where the path leads from there.
Yes,
Hmm.
maybe places that are, in the middle,
Yeah.
away from the edges.
Doesn't it just
Okay.
make you want to jump? Hang on a minute, I've never been able to try this before, and Burback jumps over the edge. A few minutes later, he flies back up. They fly back up. It's laughing uncontrollably.
Cassandra lets their breath out, or her breath out, because she was holding it the whole time.
I've always looked over the edge of things and thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to jump? Now I can.
Sure.
Oof. That is yet another fundamental difference between you and I.
I think I might try it, but only with the proper equipment, which, looks at shoes, looks at feet, looks at shoes.
I honestly don't know how I ended up attuning myself to these boots. It just kind of happened.
Perhaps it was sometime around the time that you were creating a box or summoning dirt or constructing a fake flower.
I didn't construct a flake flower. I bought it.
Bought a fake flower?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't have any real ones in the fire plane, do they?
Fair enough, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
I
Well,
might have something horrible and sooty and awful.
Well, then you wouldn't have liked it then, would you?
Well, it wasn't for me. It was for the cat or something. Right. So starting at the market.
So the four of you can disembark from the ship Here in the harbor area, you do see that amongst the many ships and things like warehouses and such, there is a little booth that says Aka Department of Tourism. That is staffed by a friendly-looking Eric Cochran woman, and you can see it looks like little brochures and maps and such at her booth.
Connor will reach for Oxy's arm just to have something else to hold on to while they cross over this dock. Look up at Oxy's face, nod, and keep going.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. We got you. We got you.
At least we're getting the air one over with.
True, but I imagine the water one's going to be quite different as well. Hopefully there's going to at least be islands there. I'm hoping so.
I can handle that. You don't really fall into water. It kind of, holds you up at least.
Speak for yourself, only if you can float.
We don't all float?
Have you ever seen what I'm wearing? This is very, very heavy armor and scales underneath that and I don't know, bones and stuff underneath that. Probably muscles don't really float that well.
But the muscles mean you should be able to help hold yourself up sometimes if it's really good, right? If you've got the muscles to swim instead. Am I wrong?
Oh, yes, but it's not a very efficient way to travel. You don't conserve energy very well.
Oh, it's just in case you fall in. No, we should try and conserve energy for when we're traveling.
Yes. Sensible one.
Yes.
Let's go talk to the bird lady.
Yes. Let's.
As you approach, she puts this, smile on her beak, as much as you can smile with a beak. And she says, welcome to Aka. Are you here on business or vacation?
Cassandra then turns back because she realizes she forgot to figure out what we were doing in terms of a hashtag, not a scam. And looking back at Burback.
Also deflecting to Burback.
I will defer to my Mr. Colleague. Yes, sir.
Yes, we are here on official business this time, unfortunately. Requisition of important magical items. And auditing and such also. We might have a few questions for you, but for now everything's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, have you been here before? Do you need any help navigating the city?
I would love some help. This is my first time. This is all our first times, isn't it? Have any of you been here before? Business trip? Have you a holiday?
First time.
Oh, well, and she reaches underneath the desk and pulls out, how when you go to like theme parks and stuff, you get those little folding maps that have like the really stylized map with the little like drawings of famous landmarks and things like that. She pulls out one of those, but it's for Aka. And so you can see the central earth moat, and then all of the other earth moats that are kind of around it. And she puts it on the desk for you, and she says, so this should help you navigate the city. You can see all the major land routes are marked on the map. And she looks at all of you, and you see her eyes linger a little bit on your boots, Burback. And she says, the air routes are marked as well, if you are able to use them. If not, that's okay. You can still get to everything here in the city via a ground route as well. All of our major locations are marked here. So if you have any free time in between all of your business, I do encourage you to check out the sites. And she leans in and she says, "The wind organ is my personal favorite." And then she points out an area on the map. She says, "Here's the market district," which it sounds like maybe where you need to go. Do you have lodgings already, or do you need a recommendation?
A recommendation would be fantastic.
She points out another area on the map, and she says, "This is our local." Our local Gruntled Cat, which is a very well-known and reputable chain of inns. Always standard quality, no matter where you go. It's a good place for very reasonable rates, comfortable rooms, good food, that sort of thing.
Wonderful. It's always nice to save a penny. Sorry, Cassandra.
I think that probably for some of us, we might want a place that's very clean. Anything with the word gruntled in it raises the eyebrow.
It's just a name. I promise it's very clean.
Good.
Gruntled. All right then. I'm gonna look at Cadence.
Who's very low key, just prestidigitating things like in corners and like that windowsill that probably the air cocker hasn't reached in a while.
And Cadence, for as attentive to you are as you are about things like dirt, this city is remarkably clean.
It's so good.
I mean, it's still a city, so it is still like a little grimy in places, but of all the cities you've been in, this is the cleanest one.
God, I'm never leaving. They're like, so you know when birds like do the thing where they fluff and like the little like bird dandruff comes out? Like I feel like that's like the only thing I'm finding in this store in very small quantities, and just be like,
Burback's boots are definitely trailing mud.
It's like the only dirt.
And when they run out of mud, I prestidigitate more.
You wouldn't.
I'm sorry, I'm just
There's
picturing
a tiny snicker down near the floor.
I'm just picturing Wally and Mo from the Mo. Burback is Wally and Cadence is Mo.
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 The tourism board lady leans in. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I think that's
Now-
all for the time being, unless well, at least for that stuff. What about for business stuff? Correct?
I mean, we are here on official business. We're supposed to be investigating some possible cases of thefts or even internal embezzlement. Now, we've got a number of companies that we're supposed to be keeping an eye on, but I wonder if you could point us towards any people that have been maybe acting differently or suspiciously recently. You see, it's resounding through the plains. We've just come from the fire plane. News of it all over the place over there.
Well, that sounds terrible. Well, she says, I don't really know of anything off the top of my head. I mean, mostly what I do is I just help people who are new to the city. But if you wanted, I suppose you could go check with my boss, or with maybe local law enforcement is a better place to point you.
Oh, yes, that would be
Just-
wonderful. It's always good to know where the local law enforcement is, yes.
She says, well, all of that is based out of the palace. And she indicates on her map, and the palace is like an entirely separate Earth mode that takes up the whole other Earth mode.
Yep,
Sandra gets this kind of relaxed look on her face because she realizes that she can help with this scam without lying. She turns to Burback in this sort of like faux whisper, knowing full well that the Erica can still hear her. What have I told you about the first rule of detective work? Don't just traipse into a town and say that you're a detective. We can't trust this person.
Burbeck makes the pained look at Cassandra of understanding and goes, "Quite right. Yes, well, it's
Did you
wonderful.
know how important our mission is?
Burbeck studies his lapel for a second. Their lapel for a second. Yes. Right. Well, good. Thank you for letting us know where the city is. Probably best if you So maybe don't tell your boss that we are here. Actually, keep that one on the down low. I mean, I'm sure they've got nothing to hide.
Okay, so
Yes,
you
because
don't
you
want to.
seem, like you probably are not embezzling funds from this little shack of yours, but
So
we'll see.
you don't want to sign our guest book?
Oh gosh.
I'll sign it on behalf of the rest of you.
She pulls out a book. It is very thick, and opens it to a page that is only half filled in, and you can see like all different names, different ethnicities, like you everything that anyone who has passed through here, who has signed this book and left a message. And you see messages that say things like, "I had such a great time." You see a lot of people saying, "Thanks for the recommendation." And she offers you a quill.
Cassandra flinches and just looks like she feels real bad.
It's
I
okay.
think
It's okay.
I'll wait until I've experienced some of the city, and then I'll come back and write a review afterwards.
Decadence will
I
take
was
the
gonna say,
quill.
is the wizard's name in the book at all?
You can take a look if you would like.
Part one.
Make an investigation check to see if you can discreetly find the wizard's name.
Oh god, that's gonna be terrible. Let's see.
Brilliant.
That is
16.
not terrible.
That's not terrible.
Yeah. As Cadence is signing, you kind of take a discreet peek through a couple of the previous pages. It's a really big book, so definitely doable. You do find the wizard's name. It is,
nice.
and what's more, it's only like 3 days back in the book, because most of the entries are dated. And you find, I can't remember if you knew his last name or not, but so his first name is Faden, his last name is Kala.
Ooh.
And the message that he has written, it just says, "Thanks for the assistance."
Lovely. Hee. After seeing that, Oxy would, as soothing, kind of soothing Cassandra there would actually, yes, attempt to whisper, and this, not the faux whisper, really whisper though.
Cassandra is just writing like, "I am so sorry. Your service was wonderful. 10 out of 10 stars. Delightful, good friend." Just pleasantries.
He's been here.
Excuse me.
He's been here.
Burbeck?
Fade in. Sorry.
Oh. Cassandra Mortman. And then stop. Well, yes, then, lovely service. We shall go to the Gruntle place. now?
Frontal cat.
Yes.
As you, Cadence, were you signing as well?
Absolutely. On this day we four friends found ourselves in this wondrous city. It was quite clean. I won't leave my name, but that's how I will sign it.
That's quite the message. And as the four of you get ready to leave, which is what it sounds like you're doing, The tourism board lady, she gives you a very friendly wave, and she says, I hope your trip is blessed by the Wind Dukes. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Have a good
then
time
when-
too. Yes. I mean, no.
Yes.
Well, you're not going to have a good time. I don't know why I always end up saying that to service workers.
May the Wind Dukes bless you as well.
And the Wind Ladies and the... I don't know where
Yeah,
I'm going with
that's-
that.
The wind beings.
Can I roll a history to see if this rings any bells
Yes.
from any of the books?
You can roll history. You can also roll religion. Would be appropriate in this circumstance. Actually, Arcana too. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna get you different things, so you can decide what you want to roll.
That's it. I know what the opportunity is. In this city, we're gonna come across a great windfall.
Cadence, the phrase Wind Dukes kind of rings a vague bell, but you're not really sure what that is or who that is.
Pleasantries, though.
In this case, definitely. But yeah, you're not truly sure exactly who or what that is. But you've heard of it.
Walk away. I take Burr back. How can you do it? Do these convincing people of things when they are so not pitiful is not the right word, but they make you feel sad.
Why do they make you feel sad?
Because you're taking advantage.
Am I?
Usually, right?
Not necessarily.
Taking all
Usually, when
the
I do
things.
well, other people do well too. Not my fault that they can't see the right way to do things if you showed it to them. I find that most people couldn't find their elbow with a compass. Best to just keep them in the dark.
Cassandra understood about half of that with Burback's accent, and so shakes her head. You've got a very interesting perspective on life, Burback.
Have I? Or am I just convincing you that?
Almost certainly.
I pat Cassandra consolingly.
A light bulb light goes off behind her eyes because she has been thinking about something in this whole thing, not devoting her entire brain to this. This is why I didn't do a history check. We've got to go to the inn and make sure it's clean, or else decadence would be disgruntled. Onwards.
Oxy leaned over to Burbeck. She's really on a roll.
I mean, the effort going into it's incredible, really.
Well, it puts her on cloud 9 to really get the point across, right?
Mm. You can really see the air just like fill her wings.
Hmm.
So the four of you are headed towards the gruntled cat, following your.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly, right there. Following your your theme park map to the spot where the tourism lady had marked. The roads here are wide enough easily for several carriages to pass. Everything is very neat and orderly. And all of the streets have signs posted, so there's very little chance of getting lost. It's quite simple to make your way a little bit deeper into the town. You pass some really nice neighborhoods on your way, beautiful houses, and you notice a lot of the houses here have roofs that are open, or almost like courtyards, or I can't think of the word for it now. But like those like gardens essentially that have like the open area in the center. Probably because so many people here fly. And you do eventually arrive at the Gruntled Cat. The sign outside is a picture of a smiling cat. And it is a nice warm glow coming out from the windows. You can smell delicious cooking wafting out from the windows. And I would like Cassandra, and only Cassandra, to roll me a perception check.
Hashtag concern.
Burback's gonna take up next to Cadence.
Cool.
13.
As you are approaching the Gruntled Cat with your party, you hear a voice, Cassandra. It sounds like the rustling of leaves in the wind or something like that. And it just calls your name. It says, Cassandra.
Is this a familiar voice?
No, it's not a voice you've ever heard before.
Okay. I'm going to turn to everyone. Give me all just a moment.
Certainly.
Is everything all right?
Probably. I think
All
she
right.
just kind of like duck into like if there's an alley or something.
Yeah, there's an alley. It's a remarkably clean alley. Like all
Just
the
gonna,
trash is tidied up into a little dumpster.
She's gonna like pull out, like a pocket compact, and just like flip open the mirror and look like she's like touching things up or something. And hello.
And you just hear again, Cassandra.
Looking behind her with the mirror. What can
You
I
don't
do for you?
Say that again.
So what can I do for you?
You don't see anything in your mirror, but when you say, what can I do for you? You hear, come see us.
Does it have anything to do with my strange book?
And a feather floats down out of the sky and lands at your feet.
That is
It
a
is
no then.
pure white edged with gold.
Just pick it up, look at it. Where are you?
There is no response, just silence.
Cassandra will tuck the feather into her hat and go back to everyone.
Welcome back. Everything okay?
She's gonna do kind of like a weird little like huddle arm motion which is really absurd
out.
because they're all in the middle of a street. You know how sometimes I'm off sort of, talking to my books in a way that makes you all feel uncomfortable?
Sometimes, yes. Sorry, but yes.
Different voice was just talking to me. I think something's watching us.
Watching all of us.
I don't know. Might just be me.
Well, best advice I can give you is remember that all of life's a stage. Put on a good show.
They make a point. Now that we know that they are, we can, make it lively.
All right, Cassandra will straighten up. All right then.
What did the voice say?
Something about coming to visit. I'll show you once we're in the inn.
Sounds like my grandma.
It does, really.
That's absolutely correct.
What, you never take her up on it? She makes beautiful tea. It's got
Well,
a little flower in the middle.
When I can. Problem with my grandma is she can't abide by lying at all. I'm not allowed to practice at all in her house. It's terrible.
I know, and that's why I really like going to visit her.
Sometimes.
How do we feel about this inn, anyway? I mean, you know what gruntled means, right, Cadence?
Yes.
Gross, really, isn't it?
Well, the rest of the city seems to be quite, spick and span, as it were, and I'm sure that it's going to be better than the last place we slept on a ship full of people, or in a dusty desert full of dust and desert. So I think I can make do and just sort of,
Honestly,
get
I
us all clean.
really enjoyed it. It almost reminded me of my the first ship I ever sailed on. Well, the first ship I owned, anyway.
Oh.
Was it also? It was not also an airship. That was your first time on an airship.
It was my first time on an airship, yes. But it was very similar.
How so?
All the ropes, all the wood, the smell. There's no smell quite like boat to vanish.
I always thought boats would smell more like sea and salt and water and sweat.
Yeah, mostly. But when you've just freshly varnished it.
Perhaps I need to smell more boats.
All right then. Cassandra starts walking.
I called it the deep bow.
So, Cassandra, are you going inside the inn?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it like inside?
Inside is very lively. There is a common area that is filled with people drinking and eating. You can see several wait staff moving around. You notice that the ceilings in this inn are much higher than you expected. And it's pretty obvious why, because you can see, Eric Cockrell fluttering around and other people who have flying abilities. There's just enough space for people to sort of fly overhead and move around in the room. Yeah, there are waiters moving around between tables, taking orders. You can see there's one or two people tidying things up, cleaning out the dirty plates and dishes, rushing them over to the kitchen. There's a staircase that looks like it leads up to additional levels of the inn. And in one corner, there's like a kind of like a reception desk, almost. And there is a young man who's wearing like a really nice uniform. It's all in black with silver trim. who is standing behind the reception desk. It's loud in here too. There's lots of people.
How
Was I
clean
the
is it?
only one that went in, or okay?
Yeah, I think you're so far.
I mean, I would follow Cassandra.
Hold the door open for Burback.
I'd walk in and then loudly exclaim so Cadence can't hear. Oh, strange, no ginger.
And follow afterwards, shaking the head.
Cassandra, it's my turn, isn't it? In the room rotation.
I actually want to talk to them about something anyway. So
Perfect. So how clean is this place? It's clean? It's good?
Yeah, it's consistent with everything else that you've seen so far. I mean, it's an inn, so there's a certain amount of like dirty dishes and things, but they seem to be clearing them away at a pretty good clip.
So, Babak, would you like to book us rooms or?
Yes, how much gold have we got left after the last place?
Enough, I think.
But Cadence, I never know what your enoughs and not a lot mean anymore. You said you didn't have much and you had like over a monkey.
I don't know how much a monkey costs, but I should be able to cover one night stay, probably.
We can check how much it is and then decide what we're gonna do with it from there.
Her will sort of look around in her purse. I've got 24 gold pieces.
Let's see.
65 at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Oxy, you took all the money from that little book scam, didn't you? I don't need money
Yeah.
anyway. Let's just go and get something booked. I'll just walk up to the bar.
Oh, to the bar.
Isn't that where you always get? Wait, hang on, wait, what? Is this not normal convention?
So there's a bar and then there's the reception. Two different things.
Oh. Then yes, of course I would walk to the reception.
Yes, the very prim looking man who's standing behind the reception area. As you walk up, he says, "Welcome to the Gruntled Cat. How may I help you?"
We are on business from across the plains, and we'd like a room for. How long do you think business will take?
At least a couple days.
Can we open a
2
room
to
for a
3.
couple of days and then leave it open? Possibly negotiate more days later on. Would that be reasonable?
He says, "Well, we do require payment up front, so depending on how many days you would like to reserve, we can go ahead and take care of that. And then, of course, you do have the option to extend."
Certainly. And what's your price for the business suites?
For a business suite, that would be 2 gold per night.
Little quick bit of maths. We'll take 2, please.
Okay. And he takes out like a little book from behind. You can see he's looking at like a floor plan. He's got I don't want to say like dry erase markers, but something very similar. And he's makes like a couple of notations that don't seem to make any sense to you. And he says, "All right. Then how many nights did you say you wanted again? 3?
Let's go for 2 to begin with, and we'll increase if we need to.
All right. Then that will be 8 gold, please."
Fantastic. Who's got cash at the minute?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. There we go.
And he'll take those gold pieces, counts them out, make sure everything's there. He puts them somewhere under the reception desk. And when he stands back up, he is carrying 2 keys, which he passes across the table to you. and he says, your rooms will be, and he checks the book again, and he says, that will be 2A and 2G.
A and 2G, lovely. And now tell me, how much is it to rent out your conference room per hour? Or meeting rooms, private rooms?
A conference room would be, is typically 5 silver an hour.
Wonderful. I'll bear that in mind.
Thank you very much, and enjoy your stay.
Thank you. Let's head up.
Yeah, Cassandra's already like scurrying upstairs.
Burpack's doing a lot of chin stroking.
Trying to figure out how you can take this to your advantage.
Storing information for now.
So yeah, you go upstairs. You have 2 rooms, so I don't know who's in each room. You can decide that amongst yourselves.
What time of day is it?
It is late afternoon at this point. So there's still a couple of hours of daylight. The sun here is normal, unlike in the plane of fire. So you still have a few hours left of daylight if you want to do anything. But it is getting late in the evening, so it's, up to you.
Yeah, I don't know about the 3 of you, but just survived an air battle with a giant bird, and we're doing pretty well. There's only 3 days lead. I think we can afford an evening of jubilation in the Gruntled Cat, where of course gruntlement is almost entitled.
Fine, that's fine. Unlock the door, please.
Oh, sure. Yep. Okay. Here you go.
And I'm just gonna pull everyone into
Blah.
2A or whatever the
Sure.
first one is that we're closest
You
to.
come in. There are 2 beds in each of these rooms. They are. They've got like fluffy comforters on them. There's like a little mint sitting on the pillow with like the little card. There is a small writing desk in a corner, and like a wash basin and things like that. It's all very clean, very nicely put together.
Cassandra is gonna shut the door behind them and then run over to the window and shut the curtains, and then walk back over to everyone and pull the feather out of her hat. You described it as white and gold.
Mm-hmm. White with gold trim on the edges.
Does this mean anything to anyone?
Could I?
Duck, maybe? Swan?
Goose.
Could I religion it?
You can.
See if it's a godly thing. Is it a godly thing?
Oh, geez. Yeah, it is actually.
What a brilliant response to a religion roll. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Seeing this feather sparks your memory a little bit, and where before you were having a real hard time remembering anything about the phrase wind dukes, things sort of come rushing back a bit for you. And you know that the white feather with gold trim is actually the symbol of the Wind Dukes of Akka. And the Wind Dukes are the city's rulers. They are generally lawfully good aligned. So might have something to do with how neat and tidy everything has been up till this point. They rule the city, so it's a reasonable assumption that the palace is their palace. And they're not quite on the level of like a major god like Lathander or anything like that. But they are powerful enough to be considered like minor deities.
Well, that's a symbol of the Wind Dukes, the minor deities that rule over this Akka. And then I relay the rest of the information.
The more information you relay, the deeper Burback's smile gets.
Does Does this mean anything to Cassandra in terms of like why they would have said anything to her specifically, or any of her weird warlock stuff? I don't know. I'm feeling a little confused.
You're really not sure at this
Okay.
point.
Okay.
But you do have weird warlock stuff.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, then Cassandra just looks really confused. I don't know why they didn't. Oh, I don't know why they just spoke to me. Nobody else said them.
Well, perhaps it's because you're the leader.
I'm not the leader.
But you are the leader,
Kind of
though.
the leader.
Sort of, we all had a little vote and we declared that you were the leader.
Stick a pin in that, and we have not unstuck the pin.
Right, we put a feather in it now.
All right.
It's like one of them things, you know, when you eat, like, I don't know, a currant bun or something, and whoever finds the 5 pence, they're the leader. Well, you found the goose feather. Well done.
Well, they're not exactly geese, but yes, more or less the gold feather. Well done.
Should I go alone?
No.
Okay.
No.
Didn't want.
We might want to hire some people, in fact. Maybe we'll go for some sort of, you know, noble or royal scam this time. We'll drop the business act and we'll get you some retainers, a handmaiden.
Are you
We
proposing
can be a
scam and
porter,
gold?
some knaves.
I really must protest. They could see us walking, and they docked me.
The minor
and
deities.
dropped a feather on my head. They will be able to see through absurd, you know.
Yes, they will, but their staff won't.
Bareback, you're going to get me killed.
One day.
Cadence glares
Just think about
daggers.
this.
But
No,
not
likely-
today.
Oxy at this point be like, likely it would be a faked one anyways. Let's face facts here, it is Burback.
Oh, I am.
Did they say when they wanted to meet with you?
They just said to come and visit them or see them.
I suppose probably if it's, you know, some powerful people, better earlier than later. Oh, yes, and then Faden's been here.
What?
Right.
And you're just now telling us?
No,
I couldn't at the.
they told me.
Yeah, well, we were having to go, and I didn't want to say it out loud too much, just in case. Yeah, Faden was signed in the book
When?
3 days back.
Right.
3.
So what's the plan?
Oh, you're all looking at me for that, aren't you?
You are the one who's been summoned by minor deities. Of course it is, you know, getting on. It might be better to go in the morning.
Look, I think we should just go with the flow. The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind.
Literally, if that feather just came out of her cap.
Exactly.
All right, Cassandra's gonna stuff the feather back into the hat. You know,
See, she's
there's
got a real
other,
feather in her cap.
there's other feathers in it, so you know, blends. You're right. We can't just go bursting upon royalty / deities this time of night. I think that we should all just get a moderate nightcap and get some early rest.
A moderate nightcap. I like that. All things in moderation.
I'm going to pretend that I believe you.
Probably for the best.
Seeing as we're probably going to get a long rest tonight, I think Burback might have, no, never mind. I need to be able to see it, never mind.
All right.
Oh.
Well, if you all decide to rest for the evening, then you have your choice of what assorted downtime activities you'd like. 'Cause you do still have a few hours. So, if anyone has anything specific that they want to do during this time frame, you do have you've got a little bit of time.
Cassandra is going to go downstairs and get a very sensible and moderate nightcap of some sort of like prissy white sparkling wine or something, and then go back upstairs and read her books with a glass of whatever it was. Just reading.
They have an excellent selection of wines here, so you are definitely able to find one that suits your taste and spend your evening reading. Anyone else?
Lovely.
Cadence, Oxy.
Like to
Playing.
do some
Yes.
fire and ice shots.
I think we should figure out what the airplane has to offer.
Sounds like a reasonable idea.
Where we're going?
I wonder
So-
if they have like a fancy way of doing things. Like when you go sometimes to like resorts and things, they get you to do ski shots and stuff like that. Maybe they've got something like you have to fly upside down and take a shot or something like that.
Let's go find out, I guess.
Are we doing this here? Are we going on a proper pub crawl or pub?
I thought you'd
No.
never ask. Yes, let's go on a pub crawl.
All right. Do you think Sandra would like to come, or
Well, I mean,
Absolutely ask her. We're back.
I don't have any magic that can do it from here. I'd have to walk up the stairs. Oh, did she have a window room? She did, didn't she? She closed the window. Let's hang on. We can just fly up on the way out. Easy.
yeah, I read a book
Very.
once, Peter Pan, that was similar to that.
Hang on a minute. Wait a minute, though. If we go and ask her when we're already outside, that makes it look like we've decided to leave without her already, doesn't it? I'll head up and go and
Does.
say. I'll head up.
Okay. We'll
And,
wait in the lobby.
Oxy, don't tell Cadence what gruntled means.
What is with your issue? I hope you at least do know what gruntled means.
What's me?
No, burr back.
And I'll
You
knock
can
on.
later.
Sandra,
Guess what?
we're going to go for a pub crawl.
There's a pause, and you are pretty sure she's scrunching her face up like I did. Have fun.
We're probably gonna have a real bender. Do you want to come with us? See what Plane of Air has to offer.
You hear a scuffling, and then the door opens, and Cassandra is already in like peak cozy. There's bloomers involved, and please don't get anyone killed.
I don't think I've ever got anyone killed ever.
Always
Up
a
there.
first time.
Alright, well, suit yourself. You can always, I don't know. You'll get changed to come out if you want to. They did have a very fine selection of wines downstairs.
She's gonna point at the wine glass on the end table.
Having brought their glass up, it seems to me that this city is a bit too clean, if you ask me. Probably mysteries everywhere.
And I know that Oxy will tell me all about it.
Alright, suit yourself. I'll see you later on then.
Be nice to decadence!
I'm always nice to decadents.
Shucks door.
So the three of you are going on a pub crawl with the intention for it to truly be a bender, is what I'm hearing.
Well, that's Burback's intention, yeah.
Okay.
That's for Max.
Is it Oxy's and Cadence's intention to also drink that much?
Sort of.
I think
Can kind of
Cadence.
handle it. The brain and the feet will continue functioning.
I think in these scenarios, Cadence starts off just trying to sort of babysit, but also is sort of, big and hulking and wants to, go along for the ride. So just sort of ends up also going on a proper bender.
So yeah, you're able to. There's plenty of pubs and bars, and you're able to bounce back and forth between different ones over the course of the night. You do find several interesting drinking traditions here. One of which is floating the glass, or someone taking the shot to the ceiling of the room and then pouring it down to someone who is laying on the ground or on the bar. You also find that there is a particular liqueur that is only brewed here in Akka, which is capable of giving one limited flight for a few minutes. As you might imagine, a very dangerous thing to give people who've been drinking, but very fun, and therefore definitely something that people enjoy doing in their free time. I would like all three of you to roll me a Constitution check.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. So, Cadence, you are going to be wildly hungover in the morning.
I cannot wait. It's because I've been teaching them how to do proper dragon shots. So what you do is you get the worst, strongest, not necessarily worst whiskey you could possibly find. You set it on fire and then you use your breath weapon on it. So the bottom part is very chilled and the top part is quite hot. And that's the fire and ice shot.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's wonderful.
As I drink one at the end, I'm like, weird though, isn't it? It's kind of like drinking your spit.
But it's very sanitary because alcohol is quite sterile, It's much safer to drink than any sort of water. You can get it from anywhere because of the chemicals inside of it. I wonder if they have a gruntled grog. That would be wonderful.
Oh, I hope not. Can you imagine a grog if it had been gruntled?
I would like to see it.
I don't know that I would. I saw a cattle gruntled once. Oh, there was a stampede.
Really? It looked more like a building to me when I saw it.
Yeah, so this ensues for several hours. You do get a chance to see some of the city, though, as you nice monuments and like parks, and you wander through one area that has like food trucks, basically. So you're able to get some munchies if you're hungry at that point. What time of night do the three of you roll back in?
Night.
I'm clearly not keeping track of this.
Assuming.
I imagine it sounds like morning from what Burback's
It's got to be before sunrise. Just. It depends. When do they stop? Do they have kebabs in the airplane? When do they stop serving them? These are the questions that need to be asked.
Well, I will say most of the bars are open until 3 a.m. or thereabouts. So you're able to be out pretty late if you want to be.
Yes, I'm gonna go with yes.
So you're there until closing.
I imagine we take a bottle of something and go to like a monument and just sort of drink there for a while and look at. Are there stars here?
There are stars here. Yeah,
Look at the
they're not
stars
familiar stars.
and waxed poetic. For which I mean, say very drunken things and pretend like we're being poetic.
All right, and when you head back, who is staying in Cassandra's room?
Someone had mentioned earlier about having to like, oh, it's my turn the rotation. What is the rotation?
What is the rotation? But I'm ready to also paper scissors it.
We totally can.
Wait, but what are we paper scissorsing for? Because I just honestly let's do a few paper scissors for fun, and then we should make a decision.
Okay. It's okay, it's kids. What is the rotation?
What?
See, I was playing along, and that's why I didn't use a pronoun because I couldn't remember.
We don't have an established rotation.
Good time to make one up.
What do we rotate for anyway?
Well, because we think that if we leave Oxy and Burback, that's you two. If we leave you two together too long, then we'll wake up and you'll be arrested or jumped out the window or something ridiculous. Or plotting to turn us into boxes full of dirt or I don't know, whatever.
I mean, turning you into things doesn't seem to make sense for stuff, but I can see the rest of your point.
I don't. The last time you two had a room together, I went and bought you a present. And you scrutinized it for hours.
Well, we just wanted to fully appreciate what it was.
Does anyone get so drunk that there's like sloppy secrets that are revealed?
Oh.
My Zoom crashed. I don't know if anybody else's did.
Oh no.
Oh. Yikes. We've all shifted around now. Oh gosh, I'm the dungeon master. No.
Surprise, your turn.
So today, shoot, my books are way over there.
It's okay.
Dang
We've transitioned.
That's okay because
Now
it's
I'm
about
deputy, so
time
we'll
to
just
wrap it up
move.
anyway. So I think we can just call in here and handle any sloppy secrets next time as it starts. So thinking about those this week.
Wait, it sounds like the rotation is going to be one of them. Like, wait, you have a rotation. Okay, wait. Who gets the bad rotation then? Like, when you say it's your turn, there's two of us. Does that mean one of us is the, oh god, it's your turn?
So yes, on that So Scott, I'll hand it over to you for outro.
Yes, well, thank you very much for coming along on this episode, everyone. We will be back next week with more Choir of Elements. But in the meantime, you can come back in half an hour's time for Apotheosis, which is Mackenzie. She's in the chat there. Mackenzie's game. And I understand we've given her a lot of knives, and a lot of knives are going to be stabbing us today. So be ready for that. Also, before we leave, please check out these closing links. These include all the places you can find us and interact with us, including Discord, Patreon, YouTube, all that good stuff. Also, check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press, and new today, The Deck of Many, who make the animated spell card thing. So check those out too. Yeah, there we go. There's the link there, so you can go and check out all of their stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that one.
Raid cry, rock you like a hurricane.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Ren.
So grab Hey, hey, hey! New thing. Work. Sorry. I like the new Twitch handle thing, like, wasn't letting me highlight. It was just, like, clicking all over the place. I was getting... Okay, so there it is. There is our raid cry. Rock you like a hurricane. We're going to go on a raid, and we'll be back in half an hour. Thank you very much, everyone. Keep on evoking emotions, and we will see you next time. Bye.